guys, it's me again. Today we're gonna talk about some light topics. So we are not talking about so heavy topic like the previous 2 days. So today, before I say anything, my name is Ruowen Huang, and I am an author, spirit coach, and also a psychic. So today we're just gonna talk about the elements of Earth. I hope that's way easier topic than the previous 2 days. So anyway, in Buddhism, eventually you realize Buddhism is not just a religion. In Buddhism, they let you understand there are 5 major elements of that 5 major element. Like then the 5 major one is mineral, or you call metal, woods, water, fire, and soil, like dirt, soil. So in Buddhism, we have those 5 basic elements because Buddhism believes all living things in the universe are created by those 5 elements. So when some people have a little bit more of this kind of element in them, they will that element tend to stand out as their personality or things like that. So anyway, in Chinese, we have a lot of zodiac or, fortune telling or anything like that that's based on those 5 elements. By using those 5 elements, we're able to predict or project how things function and work. And sometimes, we can also understand why you don't get along with that person because you are more a wind sign or you are more a wood sign or things like that. So that is the rough element to let you know. Japanese also use that if you look at if you dig into the ancient religions in Asia, those 5 elements are actually very important. It takes a big part of the religion's background. So we study how elements work, how interact with each other, how things like that. Then we slowly develop to a lot of different theory, and then that is also the foundation of how most of the zodiac based on. But we're not going to talk about that today. Yes, I have background of that, but we're not going to talk about that because it's too confusing. Today I'm going to talk about the elements on Earth. The elements on Earth that we use it so much that we don't know we're using it. So on top of those 5 elements I tell you is basic elements of religions. Basic element like, again, we talk about is mineral, wood, water, fire, and soil. During my study, I realized there's also 2 more. That is called light and air. So to me, there are 7 elements that we are using it all the time. And how do I say, we use it without even knowing it. For me, those elements is something that you can actually, there's also rock. But sometimes I will put a rock together with some mineral, just group them all together, or even group it in the soil ground. But basically what I try to say here is, let's say we have 8 elements here. Those 8 elements of the earth, to me, is something that you can actually manipulate energy with. If you put awareness in, your thought, your doing, or put, really focus on your power of thought, you are actually able to manipulate the energy of those elements. And those elements will later on help you in a lot of regards. So, I'm gonna, like I talked about it in the previous episode, right? Like if you have a cup of water, this time I actually have a cup, but no water. Anyway, if you have a cup of water, and then this water, let's say it just come from anywhere. But if you start putting thought into this cup of water and then say believing, I'm going to be successful, the thing is you will actually change the property of the water to make you feel successful. So I talked about it before, and then there's a website that I'm pretty sure you can Google it, and then you can study it. And there's a Japanese scientists that actually do a series of study of that. So there's evidence of that if you guys want to know more about that. So I'm going to use that as an example. So that is a water. that you can change the property of that. So when I first studied that, want to prove it right? Because the scientists say it takes 24 hours to change the property of water. For me, I just want to know how long does it really take. Since, I can sense it, I really want to know. So for me, when I put a water, the first time I do experience, I put a water, I start putting thought into it, right? And then I even try their method. I put label, I put, put in different container, and then want to see how long it would take to actually make the energy of the water to actually change to what I want it to be. To me, water take about 3 hours. For it to complete shifting to exactly what I want it to be, it actually take about 3 hours of time. So as different elements, it would take different time. So heavier elements such as mineral, metal, it would take longer time. And then when it comes to air or lights or even fire, it would take shorter time. I think the reason of that, I later on start studying it, is believing I talk about soul is more like a light existence before. And I guess for a light energy to influence other elements, when it comes to light or air, it's just so much easier, right, to change the property of it. So, the reason I try to brought it up here is today you guys know they are very basic elements that we use every day. And we use it so often that we don't even know about it, right? So how does elements that exist around us that we continue putting thought into that without even knowing it? Like that thought usually is, remember as a soul, if you have a thought, the whole universe knows. You don't have to, whether you say or not say it, is out there, right? So a lot of time, how we feel those energy around us, that we're taking it in, is the story that we create for ourselves. That is, I'm not good enough, I'm not beautiful, or I'm not smart, or things like that. So understand, when you're drinking it, a cup of water, in the back of your head, you might actually think of those thoughts, right? So what you do not know is, and this is what I think I make this episode brought it up to you, is you are actually changing the property of your surrounding without even knowing it. So, if you can start putting a little bit awareness to it, then you will start to realize there's all the things around you. You can simply customize for your liking, right? If you always believe that you are not beautiful, then, start with a glass of water. Start with a glass of water, drinking and believing it will make you beautiful. Then, usually if you try for a month, you will tell the difference. But for a lot of people who question this theory and things like that, I also have a way for them to test it out. A lot of time I usually say as mother, we cook all the time. So the best way for you to test it out, if you can really put great thought into the food you cook, because when a person cook, what you did not realize is they don't just use one element, they use quite a lot of elements. They will have to touch metal, they will have to touch air, they will have to touch water and fire, right? There's a lot of element going on there. Even the vegetable will be considered plant, which is wood. So there's so many elements there. So when the cook, you will notice when you are in grumpy mood and then you are cooking that food, you're like, oh my God, this is so rushed. I'm so, all over the place. I really got this meal done. And then you feed your family, right? The chances, if you have an infant, I would say, under 9 months old. If you have a 9 months old, because they intake energy right away, they eat it right away, they will, they kind of digest it right away. So you can almost see that energy actually is being passed on to them. So you may see how the infants start getting a bit grumpy or colicky, you usually call it, or, they're just, crying for no reason. As the kids get older, it takes longer time. But I would say for the kids about 12 years old, 12 years old is a bit pushing it. I'm going to try to put about 9 years old. I noticed the effect usually happen around 6 hours. So, if I cook some food, I feed it to them, and then they, whether go to bed or not go to bed, they will sometimes feel, they are not as, dramatic, but sometimes they will feel, I have a stomach ache, or I don't feel too good, right? So that's how we human digest the energy without even knowing it. But for us as an adult, what I realize is usually depends on your digest system. You will actually respond to that between 12 hours or 24 hours. So if any of you are interested to know how you can really manipulate the energy, for me, this is a great experiment, because once you experiment it, you will actually know how to use it or put awareness to everything you touch. Then you realize it really is just a fun game, right? You can manipulate any energy that you want with a great intention. So not just, not being responsible to your thought and let it all over the place. So anyway, that's a tip for you guys. If any of you are interested to try out if energy really exists, if you can really manipulate the energy or not, using those elements, as I say again, even though in a lot of religions there are only majorly 5, which is mineral, metal, woods, water, fire, and the earth, which is, soil. I also believe there's light, air, and rock. So those are the things you can give it a try. Start with a glass of water. That's always a good start, Put a specific thought on a glass of water, and then you will know the difference in a month. If you start to believe that glass of water will make you smart in a day, you will feel the difference in a month. So, or, as I said before, if you are a housewife like me, you cook for the whole family, try to put yourself in a happy mood when you cook. Then you will see the result on your family. Usually. Then as I say before, it depends on your ages. If you have young kids, you see it right away. If you have adult, you usually see it next day. So anyway, that's my episode of today. And today we talk about the elements of the earth. And I hope that will give you guys some idea. And I hope later on when we go into it, we can really detail and talk about how the major element represent or where they stand in the religions or in Buddhism. That's all I know. So again, if you like what I'm doing, you can join us on Periscope or go to my Facebook or subscribe my YouTube. Or you can always go to my website, ruowen.com. I will sometimes do the write-up there if I forget something there. So, I'm going to take a break tomorrow because I have my kids. So I'm going to go back to my full-time job. So till then, I guess I will see you guys next Monday at the same time at 10. So see ya. Thank you for joining us.